okwa onka ho nsem and no see there no safo no ade ba kope enye ne de enye ne nika say obeka ho nsem nti okakra say oka ne sa say ne be nipa ne say onka ho nsem waka or say it's quite clear say as a country, you know, the fundamentals of the economy not kind of pass a week, you know, still are because fundamentals not can want something and say a pecoin be a first one as on mine, you know, you be to be in the kind of economy self-sufficient. Nemu kebe mpo ye money e crane ma no bebre sesa bebre kwa bruche ne nyeska at the moment you know as a name you use no be 70% this a crafia bruche nti emre bia no e ma yesika sem no ho ede because ye mfasidi ntoni am mfitaki ana China ye the dollar nti say wo krado do dia na say tembia is o $1 then say ne no dollar no so ba it say commodity is a unya cedi na dia kotobi as I went to media for crown no man aba and that is becoming quite challenging tembre bi ema as yesika no ho de kofem ko dollar no ho ye na na just ne bo no e koso and that's what he's always meant by the fundamentals are quite weak in dealing with that no then ho be hia say no man do na ye kra no ye be sha say ye wa say be reduce kra na ye kra no nti aban we ba ye de one district one factory aye ne ankrankra ka bomu a ye and but I nyina ne say the flag you na ye kra if you are butcher and shall say be wa na be yen ko piska dollar en fan ko kra nti ye gusu
before say sa na man be ye bi no be betumi aye say betumi contain dollar
so say me ka ho asem ba nti ye gusu aye nti be kaya in fact between the year 2017 and 2020 we saw a lot of progress until Kofi Antwata 2021 ye benya challenges with global economic situation ya na affecting nti enye hwekra no ya be 160 of these factories are about 106 of these are ongoing 101 be ongoing you know I think we have about 321 factories are ye ne ankrankra ka bomu ye see we are I say ni nyina akọ full streamer it is a normal na ye kandodo na be den e be ba fam na ama sika na ye dollar na ye pre ho no akọ na aboa na ye exchange rate is na improve 70% of your challenges in your economy so my tied to the currency.
Okay.
And I explain to you.
Yeah.
Bosumi biya on my way here close over $400 million. For say they are to fu on kwa. Omo de emu eba embaye. Omo de sichire eba embaye. Omo kra niam bebre say the bomb emu. Nti omu nyina bosumi ni mu no. Yewure mu bi e kope dollar. Dollar no so yebegya bia je say niam ya ye de akwa buruchire ya discard dey.
Eba.
But the other corner so and also. Ntemde bia na dollar no hwan den ayena if at the moment anya hwe krampo no yetumi increase production in these industries na reduce dependence on sa nyama ye kraya ebeboy in so many ways ma yenya yenwie
okay
yegusu ayeye ene ye go through these economic challenges and also ababeji yemre nyina ye try say ye be recover in doing that what we need to do is to look for other alternatives ebetumi ama yesika na sombo kakra.
Okay.
And until Dr. Mahmoud Bamia proposed said no, looking at where we are, it is time you be back here in currency with your mineral resource especially gold. Evidence in say amaya omu to be back here on currency with gold in on currency no what they was so. In fact, I dey back pounds, British pounds. If in an number so is the most valuable currency it's because of the gold. Yeah, good you maybe akwa go bebre yi nti ade na yem wa yitu ha no yem yentumi fa go ne yede back here currency no nti ne proposal ne say ye be BBF and Minerals Development Bank the Minerals Development Bank ne be ya ne say ye be te bank e be provide financing be provide sika directly ama small scale miners no enye illegal miners enye galamsey small scale miners no what happens now ne say Ghana for yan assassinate area by kunya concession na ye ni scared be ntini akopa abrofo boni ne ba ya 90% ye de 10 obetu ni nyina no this kind na den akoko dr baumia say ye man Minerals Development Bank no emphasica no emma Ghana ni no nya concession na Ghana ni na fa na ho den ye den entu onya egudie na ye de cedi ato e wo my way mu Then they are building your reserves at the Bank of Ghana. They boost your currency na day. So obi catch will say on kind economy once obi catch will say on the economy on koma. Yes, any pan no proposal on shada yeden. NTS near mammy no involved. Either say nipa no and a ni da ho. And now say no crepa on TSA. And that is what such platforms I may know within Hong will provide for us. Say, be my opportunity. Na yet to me, any Southway, it is also near church or near Mukakra. If we're able to build your industrial base, like we're doing, if you're able to back our currency with the gold, at the time Mahmoud Bawumia proposing, you should be rest assured, say, yes, cannot want in the bed, immediately, a city, I want the better. All these challenges we are seeing will go down because you see, dollar ne cost shunti ama fuel prices na ye ton ama na cost
na nka me ba fuel prices gold for oil amfa
no so gold for oil made a lot of interventions. In fact sankaye fuel ye to baga na nyina ye based on gold for oil and we should be seeing some 50 to 60% reduction in what we are doing now. But you can agree say ye sha say enche and yes say gold for oil no so ye tumenya enough to be able to deal with all the oil need that you work as a mind. To go for oil, no, and provide intervention at some point. Maybe pipe when say you bet my 100% oil consumption I about on a butter trade. That would help us because it means that bosu minimum $400 million cash and koto gold. Gold now we to one for $1 now they are not exchange for the oil so that it reduces the value of the dollar and our currency. So it's work in progress. You see, say nipa no proposes anyama we nyina.
Yeah, can't let Ghana for say enya dey a ebetumi aye boom effective. Na mo be kakra ye kan.
Oh, ye kan we did.
Okay.
We did. We actually did. Until we kan mpo a ye shares ye no. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia mpo in one of his conversations said say ye share percentage ketua ya sa good for your intervention ye mpo ama ye sa relief ya. It means that you to me biem na ko animi ya ebetumi aboa. Don't forget to say the good for oil no enye no nko a na ebetumi impact for prices. If the friend say global crude prices and no good for oil into me and the good for oil no deals with the forex exchange aspect. But the world market prices like it's happening now it becomes a bit difficult. But ultimately, what is important is that you're buying in the midst of crisis and difficulties. Which shows a coin made the air fast any. So I just say, almost every time we are no tweaking and kakra dan kakra. Ahamfa no what say, ahamfa no what say. I'm sure say based on your conversation across the country, a lot of Ghanaians seem to think that that's a better alternative. Than a buyer, you need difficulty across say me, Diampe be amoyeme, my bread, my you join funu, me who strike and when Diam baby a yamasam. Here for mana more college necessary, my jig, more allowances if you because he niska. Some say you number 2 better me a moon to Ntiabe. So I am ranting and some page man, me a magician. Na to a coffee juma bremo, o person ye juma ko room na kwase say bo be gu kwa na ton. Ko twa grass na be hye ye beto. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. If you 2020 you encounter challenges, we don't pass for to film. Na hwe kwan a aban ya faso a on Ghana for it to me edin komo over the period. You'd realize say there's a big difference between the MPP and the NDC, especially when it comes to how we manage crisis. Now, adebako ameme na naka chere da kra o say Dennis kendini papa yen kan say we ye kendini a wabia na obi odi ni peni ma wabia wunyo hawo nemum the insonsone e work kendini a oye papa eni kendini a onye papa ne say papa no so how ne ba ogitum so how na ba na waboabo nipa ni nyina no no watenetene kwan no na wakire ye kwan e betumi yi ho afrim na yetumi yi ho eden afrim kendini bone ne de o ha ne ba ya osemo tete me dodo.
How do you explain say ebinimo can say President Mahama time now $1 is to 4 cedi and up to 13, 14, 15 cedis. Better than why explain it?
You see the facts and they say it's not about baby akwakodru. It's about the rate akọ. Any conditions a woman. Hey, no crepa and say. And no God any be a team be aware. Penny ba ɔne yɛ kɔ efuo mu no a na yɛ kɔ efuo no mu ahemache no ɔde yɛ kɔ efuo mu no na ɛhan mu no ne yɛ kɔ nti anopa yi nyina ehu kwan no na yɛ kɔ bepɔ no obi ehu no di enim ne yɛ kɔ yɛ kɔ yɛ du kwansini kwan ne mfimfini wɔ sɛ ma brɛ mi ntumi nkɔ bio ya mbe mbia yɛ dɛ mitumi akɔ me na me kan so ma brɛ ma san mechi panin baako ɔno no ya twɛn sa de bɛkye ade yɛ nkyɛn so ɛsɛ yɛ kɔ nti esum kebi mu pa ino odi yɛ nim no ne yɛ dɛ ɛkɔ yɛ kɔ ya ɛne yɛ pa bebi ade odi kan de yɛ kɔ ɛhan mu di yɛ no yɛ pa ho ɛpa no ho kra bɛyɛ nsi ho mienu ne hu sɛ ɛnyɛ ade a asɛ yɛ kɔ ne ntentem sɛ ne yɛ dɛ yɛ pɛ no no but the difference between some people mienu ne sɛ ubisa ho sɛ dia na ɛhan wɔ hɔ na wontumi afo wontwa ɛkwan ne fampo no ɔno san bɛka kyerɛ sɛ o we no ɔka sɛ ɔdom bɛkɔ mu bi ɔdom duyɛ aka bɛyɛ 2 kilometers ɔdom awie wo sɛ wogya masi hɔ me na me mentumi anyɛ even a quarter of the journey kra no momfa ma me de mo bɛkɔ how do you explain this Omampeni John Dramani Mahama, the fact of the matter is that his entire period as president, each of the economic indicators, Bakupo no want to me improve here, not even one. Or by now inflation was 8% or they call 15%. Not even one. Then this is for you say omo ba abai mu no na dollar na omo ka say omo de ja 4 cedi na you saying. Okay. It was $1 to 1 cedi. In see say oba be fa inflation. Now the fee is call 15 cedis. That's a meme ba. Number 5, we inflation from 15 no at the back to 8. That's a me encounter a challenge. Me anticipating, we want anticipating. Nobody in the world. And I expected that we'll go through that challenge in 2020. Then you see a PI inflation no cost 54% in 2023. Now say me to me kwa pemuswa na 2024 say me no kasi. I see 54 I be do 23%. How can a global why ena Ghana for betumi enya gidi we yemu say you betumi pay on mine akonenim tie ne you won bre na so nyina you don't have a single evidence say utumi pay your economy challenges ne ba fam ba akompo not even one in fact u pay ekosum ke be bu dum so chekere ye nkofo nwuma guye ehia fom ba ekɔ school ye dey allowance from gi from nsem omo omo ye adwuma ese otu omo ka 12 months o 6k ni on to betu omo 3 months dey o yes anya ma we nyina wo but me buy no for 4 years am buy ban mu no me pia sa wo how nyina akɔfam me ma inflation now dey call 15 me pia by 18 nkola na wo di omo allowance no me sign dem omo nkola na wo di omo tena fie 2014 15 16 no me form adwuma mu obi o ye adwuma 1 year bi etua ne ka 1 year etua ne 3 months kanea na wo dundum ne na nkɔfo adwuma gu no top 4 managing so. Okay. In the midst of that process, minya challenges. No. Many ye nyina tell say how abeni you. Niema mienu. Either say you be to ye say nipengu. Say ne besi bia no. Na ye protect your economy no. And I say you be decide say you be bo enkwa ho ban. The economy ni dey dachi bi e betu an den esiesie no. Okay say na do. He had a choice. Yeah. Nanado had a choice to protect the economic indicators. He had a choice. He had a choice to keep his eye on protecting the gains, but it was going to come at a cost. The cost was going to be about the death of human beings, citizens. Yeah. And see, our COVID nearby, you know, so we knew who I want to see. So what that would be and who I want to see. But yeah, enough of 4. Yeah, do for actually one. The transient, I just say, Minyayanka, I'm down for not see. Even in the midst of 23% inflation, better than that. Today, because of that decision they could to take here to protect our lives in India, PI inflation got 54% as of 2023. But 2023, ye PI boho juma ye mwe juma 54%, about 23%. You go so kekakoye prediction say you do December no. Inflation about do 18%.
No, that's
15%. And I do 18% at the time I ever to about many women.
There's this question, and I'm a person in business. How can a global challenge affect only Ghana? So now these are questions in Kwana.
First of all,
now other neighboring countries in the Okoa, inflation will form Cote d'Ivoire and one of my Kenya. And I idea it was true.
First of all, no, and you know, Chris, global economy to affect Ghana and I met change me breaking it down my cascade. So the first class countries now you say you to me for home to America, Asia, UK near there. They've even been hit even worse than us. US, experiencing the highest inflation they've seen in 40 years. So you're aware?
Yeah.
UK, experiencing the highest inflation they've seen in 40 years. In fact, UK problem no crowd here. Are you how to the extent say in the year 2022, almost as prime ministers 3 times in 6 months.
Sure.
So okay. Sure. And it was obvious it was because of the economic challenges. Germany, it drew baby no. Na brodu krombe to kwa no munye bi nto oyo eni esam no munye bi no mato no makwakoye den akwakodi. So it is not true say Ghana nkwa na affect him of a friend say studio ha near my was studio ebu be 80% likely say a crafty Turkey.
It's more than that, right?
And Asia Turkey for inflation in the year 2022 ekwaya kopem 80%. So the first class countries, it's not true say they affect the economy. China shut it down for 4 years. In fact, as we speak, Africa no more open up to the world. A lot of the Asian countries almost cut your production. Ghana, Ivory Coast, their inflation used to be about 1%, 2%. Yes. Okay. It is a Nippon inflation 1%, 2%. Ne about 6%. You see, less than all the no. This I want say, how much
increase yako. Okay.
Until you don't go and pick Ivory Coast for inflation. Now I'm picking Togo inflation and I say Ivory Coast inflation here 6%. And now they are 23%. Until one economy no, it didn't affect them. It's not true. What you should go and ask is that before 2020, now Ivory Coast inflation no, they are saying. And na ene saying. Before 2020, na Togo inflation and they are saying. And na ene saying. That is how you would analyze the situation. So that assertion is completely false. Every country in the world is struggling. UTA, a friend is saying Biden and Trump debate.
Yes.
It was obvious.
Yes.
In their debate, that was the main conversation. Yes. All of them were, and they kept repeating COVID, Russia, Ukraine. COVID, Russia, Ukraine. Omunina say COVID and Russia, Ukraine has affected their economy. But we are an import-dependent country. Let's just say, yen dayamaya maya sade pese yenya wo mai wem ni yenya enti se baby yen ye kokra ye ne free no omo say COVID and Russia Ukraine nti omo no ma boa ye den na yen na ye te ye fe ne say Ghana no ene ye beka say ye de ye hu bi da na. The effects of COVID is not only on Ghana. It is on third world countries, it is on second world countries, and it's on first world countries. Every country in the world is working to get themselves out of the COVID and the Russia-Ukraine situation.
And now how send yes yak by him, your speed in a year, baby a namely baby a free baby a speed in a year.
I think say we would have wished for more as a people. So I just say as on mine Timemufono, year, you done 10 times one kepe. But I'm over ye fixes our challenges in Nano. Now ye make sure say ye manner omunti ye breno omon kan ti fi
okay
nti ye classic ene bi
okay
e dey ahwe school
okay
ye ni nyina no na still ye classic ene bi ade hwe hiafo ne ma no e wo colleges ni mu
okay
ye sade we nyina no ne ye classic ene bi e dey ma nkran so omon fan ye factories e manyen ye ni nyina no ne ye kra bi e ye akwan. That is why ye, even though we've experienced 4 years of global economic challenges out of our 8 years, yeah, acquiring 11,974 kilometers. NDC for my experience global economic challenge, we are in 8 years, almost acquiring 4,600 kilometers.
Explain this to me. Acquiring some okay. Oram Hama says, oh, can't be a Muslim way no. I better say free air China. Na so why you can't be say free air China there. Senka kruma acquiring na kia any na.
Or non so called parliament. Catch parliament say, and the video is the State of the Nations Address 2016, April was February. Catch room say. Why you acquiring over 4,000 kilometers? Okay. Unim distance from here to UK.
Meaning,
inti senka sana ye kadi ankono
so na UK.
Okay. So inti Mahama no so we dey kada say about one ba politicians and throw near their film. Quite inti ono no the principle ne say or the throw. He said it.
Yeah.
Me ni say about what me transfer. I can tell you that's why bibi make be me mind you know so.
Yeah.
Me transfer and find your politics. On the waka say or the job.
The frafra.
Or the frafra. So I just say inti sometimes we cast am hwe ono no cast I don't know, on one country is almost 4,000 kilometers away because a bit with the UK. and able to be the yako friend say even Nigeria you see does it make sense? Doesn't even add up. Say Ghana yako war SSA is over 90,000 kilometers of road. SSA
yeah.
It's 11,000 kilometers. Now can say that means yako if yako China. In fact, me person still am say what he wanted to say. So I just say, would the hour buy na wow yeah na okaye. And then so ye dey aba bechere. Ya. Say we have 4,000 and another 11,000. Ya. But no any problem. Unya embre no. That's what you decided to use your money to do. Yeah, we have decided say in spite of the economic challenges, we'll fix the roads. In spite of the economic challenges, we have built more education infrastructure than the ADC did 8 years. In spite of the economic challenges, you see over 88 district hospitals. I'm a district or munibi. And we call mountains, Edukrum. Okay, district hospital.
Okay.
Nefe. To the extent that okay, for a dentistry.
I see.
Machines in you in the next few weeks, you back will be ano. Which government? Unim some of her. Until I one one. Now if we Madina ha. Ebesia eko okay. So Madina, Adenta, Equiapem North, Equiapem South, okay. Not district hospital, what's our district? Mako 5 in one pay. Tete Kwashi Memorial Hospital. One. Into Beko Tete Kwashi, and Panen Nosu, Bangrofufi Madina, Echo, Moko. Meanwhile, in our healthcare system, Yashishe, Chips compound, at the electoral area level, Ufiwa, now called health center, Ufiwa, now called clinic, Ufiwa, now called polyclinic, now called district hospital. Regional hospital and tertiary hospital. So every district must have a district hospital. Immediately you fail to provide a district hospital for every district, what you have done is you are creating room for people to go to 37 and Kolebu with headache.
How do you convince Ghana or say a project in the more about a comedy?
And say and then me know say in Crawford the car with you so much realize with like TV.
Okay. Okay.
Manda light more, me ada power more. And so me do big car. Or tata me to but a prepaid nduma say me to prepaid. Okay. Obi ntua na ba school fees. School ya pamo akwala no. So ade sign no obeto prepaid apawa ne kania. But say we say we nya kan obi tumi ada. Because so ko amanase nkurase e sha amanase
kania ni ho so
moda. Nti sa principle no so no odwen ho a wonti ase. The fact say accommodate me no enche say nso to amenante atechem. Say ye me kwan na mame. Nti the fact is that ye kwan ni bi ne ye den hyehyɛ be ma ekom na edem no so be den egu akofam ne ye de hyehyɛ be ma mapomoden nsem be koye nso ye den egu akwemu saa na ye kyekere oman ye nya baako enkonkoye baako ube ma medidi be wie no na nsu afame kosa kwan ne nye medidi be wie no na mentumi mfifie nkonkoye adwuma kosa kwan ne nye eduane no kra wo se wo de be ma medi no eduane no ye di be fi enchi ye di be fi western north sehwe na de aba akwan ne nye nti eduane kra no wo sika se den kra eduane ntumi mfi enchi na ba bedun kra ma wedi on mind ye yeso ha ni yeso ha ye pia ne kakra.
This is just some questions I did lay table na fe na ye be kwa anim na ya hwe ni muade de omoni nko free 2025 aircraft kwan na was lead o man Ghana na nipa kro no de na was o man for hwe free ni mu na ye ne no di nkoma no pay miracles. He speaks for Dr. Baumia campaign minia table na seti afi na ye ba nkomo no ankasa so ye kwa anim 2025 a decision na ye taking. Why do you think that Dr. Baumia na was here to abamam?
Because on credit.
Okay.
Owo ahofama sonko ene ahobrasie sonko bima oman no. You see over Ghana pepe so edu sisi ano. Yentumi ma obi amfa na da entom fotwengu ye ni. Esa de esi painti and I'll take you on a very quick journey.
Course.
What kind of year 2000? MPP ba aben mu no. Na Ghana ye we ekotodwani mu. In fact, na sika de bitu edwuma for kakra na bi ni ho. Including fuel. Yes. To the extent that this country was completely on its knees. Inti na esese ye ko abrochi ne ye kwasra mo say monfa ye nka aman a omo ye ohia boburo ho na monfa ye ka ye dai. Enche that was epic. Yeah. Until we had to declare ourselves a highly indebted poor country. Answer. It mean your fiscal space. Need to me ahwe ho. Ni acheche ye man no. By the time of Mampenin Kufo Ghana name from 2000 copying 2008 no. Na Ghana we've turned ourselves around. to the point that you say we're the golden age of business. That was the time now we fee. Now banks abefie say beje bosi akoye adwuma. Standard Chartered Bank, Fidelity Bank. No omo be pay cha Barclays Bank say emerges kan koye adwuma. In fact, na Ghana you say you're the gateway to Africa. We're the shining star of Africa. Ghana ha President Kofo na man hu say see to be far on mine isika e de bo obia ho akwama. Because you see say obey your mampenia. Na say one year the friend of social intervention policy amamia. What would happen is that we to be the mampeni 8 years, but a fair be woman they will never experience your leadership.
Sure.
Because me tell her now be do your mampeni 8 years. No one may be kumulate kwanya mame. Insu ni ho. Kani ni ho. We to be diako, but no one fa dia ba kumpo amba me menya so fa so. Me boa. What social intervention does is that anya hwe krampo no aban ne betwem akọ.
Me abran TV share ofri mo soro ha ya. Na me kura passport no bisa am say we na passport no. Soro ha ya o.
Hu bi da.
Enti why airport anya.
Una say won krofo a ye obi ote eburia omba madina da. Obi ya won we eburia ma nanyi omba madina da. Enye news. You understand? Even madina ha ya when you say you obi ote social warfare a omba libya contest da. Obi to me at social warfare na bra bo nyina o me ye hwe libya contest. So when to me I'm for social intervention and bar, what would happen is that you will seclude some members of your society who would never experience your governance until you leave office. Because oh yeah, I we see rage hospital, but we see what rage. We see what okay. And see depend on what you do, no, and it's pine na no when you surgery problem about rage no. When you also fast we see terminal 3. Papa ya osi ohun passport dey ono be dey on terminal 3 nti ono terminal 3 na osi no wenya so mfaso. But the social intervention policy no ensures that every Ghanaian everywhere in this country would experience that policy and benefit from it. Nti why you acquire school dan ya den nyina awie no wache na de going to be school dan nyina in 8 years unsi mi see hospitals nyina in 8 years untumi ye ka akwa nyina in 8 years. Nti the only way you nyina able to me benefit from Niamana watch channel through the social intervention. Into President Kofo the health insurance buyer. President Kofo the capitation buyer. Capitation ensured say every Ghanaian that you don't want my way, you know, in your access to basic education. Or you know this school feeding crap peers, so send a bay here for mana, even though school near free, no, it's send a Biania and Kolani Bedinti. No more want if you meet me a cool school Makudidi. The results at that time was that intake at the basic school extra poye. And do baby can classrooms and Kolani Betim Komunya. Intina, Kofo the Hepixka, and started so school that you have a was a school dance where a Hepic initiative. We Emma National Insurance buyer, Emma cash and carry system and not NDC for the about almost cash and carry this in the bar because until the late 80s in Ghana, your hospital free. NDC in the late 80s and a day cash and carry about my way. Into President Kofo by my way, no, near cash and carry to the extent that Sabe, car ball walk my way when they do hospital. Doctors better to go to my business cash or baby no one year John way. But President Kofo yi cash and carry free what the health insurance buy. Wamanaso wa edu baby na gada ye kan ye budget for parliamentar. Kwesi botwe professor e kan maternal mortality rate. E ma omo kwa wo so. Esa say na just a would sika hospital answer uko wire hell. President Kofo Kofa policy a friend of free maternal care by my maternal mortality rate ye den ye give you ho. Nei say o fefu na wo hospital nko on time nko dia ye be hwe na wawo afa ho afa oba. In spite of Sani Meya mebobo so yina yi amfa obe kai say you do the year 2008 no. President Kofo nya problems mienu. Onya water shortage. And na Kofa Kofo Galo because yeah Labondi cantonment is Legon na Ghana folk yellow gallon no penso adom so okay Kofo another challenge fuel price shortage. That was the timer you short fuel to the sense of petrol 1 gallon at all about AQ a whole day 2 days after 1 gallon at all and what to grano gallon no nebuo the den you remember it's son is all how you know wenti ndie for year they realize nana for ahunchaba nkofo complaining because immediately fuel prices are short here akosoro nkwa de niam abo be den nti Kofo niam a waye nyina from June 2008 no o man mu be ye den nkofo mo be chi omo nsuo ko menum kwa na ehon ayeden and then this for shares here oh Ghana for ahon kira be die this is the time you be pini MPP aban oh omo ya kronfo nkwa omo wia go the World Bank of Ghana nyina de akwa bridge show mo bank statement ADB bank statement NIB ya fa ken Japan omo so we wieska ego ADB NIB Richard Anna Nshweska we wia Dr. Dofo Nshweska we Dr. Adokofo Nshweska we wia it say omo se kofo na penifo ya kronfo kofo cry to we oyedwama mbofo oni maami bi e fe ne gize ya dia ko wontafo Paul and Peter yentu abentia omo
Paul and Peter
okay we tell the wawa
make pa
any ade nti strategically no they picked on the emotions of the people sometimes no kre na o man ni man yeden nti enya afi na obaba ka che nipa ne se me na me dey health insurance buy you me na me dey capitation buy you me na me dey on fa ho e dia no so so no pa trotro boy yeden because fuel prices cost for was struggling no me dey turning kontompo 19 musa Ghana for sure almost Ghana for bufu na ye to about MPP aban that was the time Nana Dondan Kwekufo that started here all preaching about free senior high school because the Nana do e Kenya na say Mr. Send your former basic school are free, no. Among Colano numbers now triple. Your secondary schools in this way, it's designed to hold a certain number. Now, Nipa no ye hear me, and a basic school year free to be cool BT. Still obey him, and so wait to me up for secondary school. Intimation. My secondary school education, so you're ye free. In spite of Sunny Mao, Nana Kufado Kain, Yenti, because now end this front row, and why a thing. Emotions, no, so we voted against MPP for 8 years. For 8 good years. This is what happened. Each of the successors are on mine year and Akufo in a share. For their dollar, $1 $1. On the call, bear 4 cedi, 80 pesos, 5 cedi. For capitation, na the business school. No. As at the time, we move here, na be 3 times. Omuntu ya ba akompo. Nkola chalk cry the betro nkola di school kra no. Na bi ni ho. Omu ka kire PTAs omu nkoto chalk nkola no. Health insurance no omu gu no to the extent that kofo okono the number of people no more health insurance no NDC abreso 1.5 million Ghanaians e yom hu free so. Financial sector na me say kofo under kofo time omu buy a whole fie which is true.
Yeah, it's true.
As at the time NDC kona financial sector na gu to the extent that Upe Usikaji wa GM Bank, Upe Usikaji wa Unibank, and I say Unisecurity, Ombe catcher will say Sikeni ho, Ombe catcher will say system cut down. Ube do what we see be 2 days as a amount half. Ube 50,000, say benya 10,000 amount. To the point that on Mampeni Mahama Efa on my Misika, and the banks says a monjina monjina some way to me the Aboagye. 3 occasions for some of the banks, to me a banks in Guye. And on Mampeni Mahama. Financial sector now for CSC na na can 17 84 microfinance companies eno mugu no 84 microfinance companies eno mugu no so it tells you how bad this government was at the time. But in all of this you know one fan to with say omobedu 2016 no na dumso aba to the point that this country was completely on its knees. Situation now kofo fix yaman over the period now among mine kwen anim no they eroded everything within the 8-year period. Nkofo nyuma eguye nkofo eda theater epon so ayehwe mo ne edum kane omu wuye ehiafo ma omu college teacher training college nursing training college a omu di allowances ebom ho akwa ama no matumi akono ye gifri omunsem teacher for the nurse for omu wie secondary omu wie college a SAF omu adwuma no 2013 2014 2015 2016 ye inform because o mine ye broke to employ these teachers. Omo muti ye a ye form kakra no o ye adwuma 1 year ni ye ntua ne kaye nyame ya adom na sa oman ne ka se ye betua ne ka mahama ban say even though we adwuma 1 year no ye niska nti betua ka 3 months in kola over 100,000 and afi bia omu wie BC a na omu ntumi nko secondary school esa niema mienu pe yedi kan school adan a ɛwɔ hɔ a ɛsɛ nkola no kom no ɛnɔso de toso mienu ehiafoɔ no omubotom enye ntontumi ntua ne ba ne school fees. In fact omampeni mahama nkasa in parliament ekokan say in 2016 kan say secondary education has become very expensive, so the poor could not attend. Meanwhile secondary education and as education pay and they provide a platform ema ohie ni ba edi osike ni ba etumi tena dan ba akomu. And yet wickedly former president mahama ni naban eja nkola 100,000 etirefie afibia. By the time ye ba bedu 2016 no na health insurance na president ko for the buy no me go no. Now fast forward, MPP Aban had to come back to power in 2017. 8 years later mofa, and adie bia president ko for ye bia no ye buy no ma say no. Instead of say and combine be call any 3-4 times from baby president ko for ye no ya san ye 2 times. Inti about 2017 no president Kofo asefo ese say ye san say yembre na ye san be siesie ni ama no ma say ni nyina say nya opportunity ase yan dey akoye nim. The same people health insurance na yan e dey buy omagu no ese ye fix it. Nkola education yi almost over 1 billion children omagu on the streets.
Okay.
Because they cannot afford. Okay, omo ya advert create here free senior high school. Kai say ye in school adan nyina wie ya yentumi mani ye free. They just say, you school down in a dining area, in your form man can't fee, Nessica for man school. This is how this country was run under them. Now, you buy, you know, so you be a mojenisa, the CSC, near man or my son. I didn't care my young crime yet twice in the year 2008 and Quebec, or my son, and you bring a mojenous CSC. The CSC in the year 2020, yeah, Nibenya, Aquasia true comedy. After you answer, you baby blame me and beam. What I am saying is that
they see 2008 repeating
the same thing. Into the upper womb, kofa all the tapes in 2008 in Abonashe. In some more can push out take ye, no more ye, and no one paper no more year 2024. Hoping that economic challenges are obvious, which is a fact. So we are going through economic challenges. Hoping that no is what Ghanaian people will hold on to it and knock the MPP out for them. But the Ghanaian people should remember, say, in spite of the economic challenges, we have kept the light on. Okay. In spite of the economic challenges, in Kolano, you be antenafi, 2 years school fees mano. In spite of the economic challenges, colleges for no being where I didn't allowances free in some mano. In spite of the economic challenges, your fat teacher for in 8 years saying buying beer in 8 years. In spite of the economic challenges, your father is a 4 you saying buying beer. In spite of the economic challenges, your for police for this soldier for immigration for saying buying beer. In spite of the economic challenges, you have 11,000 kilometers of road, almost you have 4,000 kilometers of road. In spite of the economic challenges, you see district hospital, Amad district be only be across the country, and that is the biggest difference between us and the NDC. Until all we're saying is this. Mumma ye opportunity no. Niyama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia entowaso. Na ombo dia yetumi ye no ho ban. No kre. Enye niyama ni nyina na yetumi ye. Aka dodoa e wo kwa sese ye no ntumi ye. But ya mbo no ho ban na ye de bufuo ehye mu na yetie ndisi fo ntro ne nkontompo na yi Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia efiwa. Ye bese ne say just as it happened between 2009 and 2016. 8 years down the line, maybe you can say, Brent, MPP, Simon Brown, Ebano, no more free senior high school. You have a health insurance from my son, no could you auto. You have a non collado with Jatin if you know be equa. You have a hospital, CSC, you may just you. Because I'll tell you what, President Kofo started Euro Judge projects, hospital projects, okay.
Konongo Kumewu,
Konongo, say one, who himself for the 8-year period now in this bar, not a single of these hospitals it had to take us the same Akufo to come and complete project Akufo. So clearly the evidence is there. Say, yeah, mad Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to us when we are just as they did to the Eurojet hospitals, they will do the same to the Agenda 111 hospitals. We know evidence. Usure obay na kire sene ye betu me den esusu
some MPP from why he 8 years is it about motions and answer den and be mo bi aka se mo why he
possible say ye ho be ye hi enuanom create na fia sem to kwatu me ba in fact ubisa ware for power no mo ka no kra kire wo pa o meka je say to de bia utumi so say me hu nipa ba ko ni mu a me ntu kwan kakra that's why even marriage counselors will tell you say mo ware a o mo a mo ntu kwan na mo kodi 2 days 3 days na mo say environment kakra nti it is possible very very possible obi ko to me ka say me consider me nu if it is no na me ye fine but say so wo no mu nipa ho won fono possible but amofa ye fono na ye hwe and I should say ye da che na ye hwe and that is why in all humility about to you say yeah my emotions in ye adwuma ye beto ye boase ye de ahobrase a kyerɛkyerɛ nsɛm no mu ye nyi ni say ye nko na wiase nyansa nyina we etrim ye nyi ni say ye nko na bibia we ntrim but between MPP ni NDC nko ade ye gidi say ye ndie ye nyansa ndoso so omo de between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and John Dramani Mahama nko ade ye di say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ye better than John Dramani Mahama nti ankabe ya ye ma Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia opportunity no na on to us when free baby ya ba bedue na de yetumi ya no mbɔ ho ban na de aka no kra yentumi nya nwie ye no because na inflation ko 54 ya pema be do 23 ko egu so ko nanim nti e kyese ye no ye wo ekwan ye be fa so ye betumi abrade na sa ye de akofam but no for the entire 4 years out na ban mu no not a single time you know the inflation back down even 1% ni nyina o de kosoro nti of 8% de ko 15%. Even na say ka say the inflation kwa na yesu kra yetumi ka say better than John because of 8 they go 15 ya no ye pia every 15 and akọ 20 3 years saying by the time you do December na be 20 and 18% no you would have realized there be a 5% and a 4% pen area there ye dey aka ho but we have at least shown say a cost ra yetumi ye dey e de bafem but you have no record of ever bringing it down it is how ko jashe nsem na obviously you are expecting it to keep going.
I didn't mind this forecast Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be or trophy pie on one India.
Minim some mama kaba ko kwachewa. Minim de nti o mo kasa mate. In fact, omo share that throw articles say na be ya online algorithm but you see o kai so omo kai say Nana Danko Akufo do Pemba or ye wi smoker.
Okay. Yeah, me kai.
O kai so omo kai say President Akufo ene gize yazi akogbo edwaman awo mama o tempo. Say chena na obi hu Peter Mpo le nimu a. It's been how many years? Over 16 years. Peter Mpo, what to say Peter Mpo bi ho. Nti o kai say ene general secretary of the NDC. Fifi Kwete ko kai say President Akufo na be wia gold in the Bank of Ghana nyina.
Sure.
Emma okọ vetting as minister na omo kai on so one day na Akufo na kan no kai bi.
Yeah.
Nti omo de
Honorable Atachi and Ebisa.
Nti omo de you can be rest assured say ono okọ akensi oni nyina so bia ogidi say monto abama no nti ono ne strategy na say me say why e beto ma me NDC for my campaign plan no destroy my opponent then I get the vote what is MPP for NDC fashion that turbo bo ase pa actually policy papa bia ase ba kobo nkoko bo nkete mnante ne maba ne me party for ye ba ye beto nkoko bo ne nkoko nkete amamo na maye omo to ano maton kosia ne kakra aka na manye sika omo nyi ano maton nkoko no say na edwuma na hye because they don't have a proper policy plan in it no almost strategy and say yengu Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ho fi ye say ni din a ne ho be ye hi na Ghana fa to abama ye enye say Ghana for ntoma ye because he was superior authority a friend say policy but Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is clear o che de obey for education sector or say me bo free senior school no ho bai me make sure say Ghana ni bi ni wo ko secondary school betua na ne ma aka sisi ye free senior school dan sisi si bi ka ho ne ade no ya ye bi aka ho Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye nuano mo di dem persons with disability no omo nyina be ko secondary school for free omo ko tertiary university ni polytechnic ni colleges for free Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say ye nuano no mo ko tertiary na ene digitalization ti omo ye Zoom class omo ye PowerPoint presentation no every university would be given the necessary support to get a laptop. Say be bo adwuma omo adesua. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia aka to say Mineral Development Bank beba na be bo small scale miners. No mutumi am mine omo concession. No mutu agudie na ye de mine sika cedi ato na de abaki ye currency no my way mu. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne fisher folks e di nkomo a church omo say sa fishing harbors na ye si ni bebre any landing site na aban we ye si ni bebre si aban bia no or bekabum na wa build cold rooms any cold facilities at these fishing harbors say na be ya epofo no omo nam ne ye den and say no menya baby di den ahye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say obe training 1 million youth in IT related programs say na be ya digital jobs here abeya and na obi to India and so na the company ye adwuma wom e wa America no yes ye ma no e betima den enye biaye Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say obe make sure say ne credit scoring system a okwa abrochira obi perform ato on hia pay kinkran sa wato on nante ko ne telco company ho na yama ne phone no we twa ne kakran no or the bi bomb man yimu na Ghana phone so etumi ayeden enye bi opa konwa ato opa wo phone ato opa TV ato ade bi a wo to pay ato bi ano because of the credit scoring system ninti you betumi the amount na we twa ne kakran Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say businessmen no mo ye business for my way mu ojitum say taxes no edoso but the entire in the past any recent time taxes na doso nyina ne say nipa dodo omutua eto na de na ye noso nti nipa kakra bi na etua to de hwe o man nyina nti ese ye de bi count say de bi am betua mo but any because of the digitalization nti a threat tax net nim a be tax net nim nti nipa dodo etua taxes na ba be doso nti mra so say ye bet taxes no so nti nei ye port duties no for importers ni nyina no obey na flat rate now what port duties no so ma na be from crowd than in neighboring countries Togo and Ivory Coast empo anya hwekrampo ene na nyepe that is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is preaching to the business community non-formal sector at the pemuni wa we yeti mechanic Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say esa ne say wote kokrantumi a wo ba register general e be ye de ama wa forms bebre nti o register wo business le Sawo mechanic shop no so one register e be den say ubenya credit facility and ubenya loan bi dia tre wadwumanum wo ye mechanic wo pe jack ato wo ye mechanic wo pe vulcanizer machine here de share from me wo pe bi ato wo niska no nti ga obetumi akoje bosia na wo de share wadwumanum na nka wo tua ne kakrakra but instead say we non formal sector one register wo business one ye hwenti obi an ni word ne sika be den e be ma wo Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say or the short code eba wo fa wo phone na wo bo star say hash na wo send it san say wo Ghana card information wo ho dadenti wo bo Ghana card na ma ne hye mu a niam ye hi nyina ebeba system nim na wo bo company nim a wo pese wo use the company nim no be use ya na ma wo approval na wo register wo company on your phone you are a registered entity you have a Ghana card which is your tax identification number you can now walk into any financial institution and say my name is Amofa. My company Amofa Mechanic Engineering Shop. Me here bosia na me de akoto organizer machine. Me here bosia na me de akoto jack na me de atre medwubem. That is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is promising the barber, the hairdresser, the mechanic, any informal sector person. And these are specific alternatives. Oh, preachy. I'm a question. Cause what am I here?
Mente.
Intended into Obama. The only thing I'm catch a Ghana for you and say, Monto Obama because MPP for the almost on by on to my I'm from Miss Assembly.
We are since why.
Yenina, you say you buy a bay near 20. Me buy, you know, me my 18. No correct, mean to me year 2. Because I are saying education, I better say health, I better say industrialization, ye pay any abaya since 1992. Ye to me the deliberate strategies at Wakwemua, any uncrankra kabuma, ye be fortunes Makomako 321. And they wouldn't say automobile companies Makomako 8, almost assemble cars were Ghana, Kia, Toyota, Nissan, several companies, 8 of them, and they assemble cars, and were my Wimua. Ye exported because neighboring countries. So I just say, and we have challenges in the macroeconomic indicators. Where by you know? Near 20 no, oh yeah, mummy and son. Yeah, by mu edu watry. What do I say? Oh now, oh yeah, near man a mummy and son. Yen to about mau, near 20 nippon on why near man edu watry out of 8, 20 no. Does it add up? One now beg G in here for allowances free and say, oh, Munsemuno. Yen to about mau, near 2 tier the all day allowances in a buyer. Why would John Cola buy 100,000 every year? Almost to me secondary school. Yen to about mau. Ni entuntie nipa onu tua school fees me hia for me to me biko
no. That's my few messages.
Wa we buy your ton o manufacturers mako 300. Who say MDC? They sold 300 state owned.
I for so per list mo fa bra bo.
Oh, me dia to abonte me to me share am.
Okay.
300. Most of insurance ya hu odolu ni na factories. Omo ton factories say chupa chops. Omo ton factories say tomatoes. Who say TV3? Na your mine there. Omo ton ma Malaysia for bi and no more fight no more. That is how bad they can be. O say, yen to abama wa o ton mine factories 300 no. Ni yen tun tia de ono de factories 300 aye den abano. No crack. Dodo na MPP aban ye tumi aye. Me ye jutum. aka nneɛma bi ɛsɛ sɛ yɛyɛ in the macroeconomic sector in all intent and purpose no ɛsɛ sɛ yɛbɛto deɛ yɛtumi ayɛ no akyene sɛ yɛbɔ ho ban whilst we pursue some macroeconomic indicators na aka no na me deɛ mede m'ani ho deɛ mede maso ate dia me carry Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and John Mahama me muso do mo sete na I am clear in my mind say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be the best person a obebo niam yetumi aye no ho ban na we di enim akwa into the future to lead us to achieve the ones that are
but before then a few messages na to us. So the main task of government is creation of wealth for the people, is about expanding the economy and giving employment for the people. In the course of doing this, you may encounter inflation and currency instability. The point I gather from Dr. Bawumia's UPS addresses is domestication and method of financing. I'll expect him and the party to carry the people along this approach and let them stop this ritual spillage of dams. Please give me my opinion. But sometimes it's not how bad inflation is beaten, but what we can do with inflation and currency depreciation. Martin Luther Olaboni, he says, miracle, despite this monumental project in the road sector, the marine object like Jamestown and others, if we don't showcase them on all the media platforms for the good people of Ghana, this becomes of essence. Again, the NDC state capture strategy must be guide against. Medasi. Mura Solomon Kwe says, regards to Honorable Miracle Aboagye, I have his number. I called him last Friday, but he didn't pick nor return the call. I sent him a WhatsApp message, but he did not reply. I have some suggestions. Okay, Rasulomon Kwe, Mati, Obia, Obefro. Me Kaimo said, near Ekoso, Parliament House, media budgets, never pick it into Kainashan and so. If people want to compare our level of indicators such as the inflation, have they also compared the death row of the countries being compared with in relation to the effects of COVID-19? Just suppose this with President Nanado's asserting that we know how to bring back the economy, but not the dead. Well, meanwhile, resources used to preempt deaths affected the health of the economy. But truly, the economy is now improving and fast improving. Okuseku ewadamfa and our also the way by other messages. This one says, we will be a when ni jinia hodu emefie kama ho we hear say utie me ye Franco Trading Enterprise. One more phones ahodo nyina bi. One more smart TV, one more tabletop fridges, air condition, chest freezer, washing machine. The type will be our open on Sabe cabin. And then the other can we CCTV cameras. This is why I know I share so pebito na fatimi monitor ufie or jumem empo okem Sabe BBC. Na dear money a corner say camera see our video and a sound audio. Yeah, we bet me use the time the main office no other braka on the rock the cinema and share any sound so. And as I call online, francotraining.com, BBI come and Edia, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, I'll party or Honasi and family will fear and your problem. And one say, yeah, or location, no, not Edia Bro will fear, Free Franco 0246 422 0246 422 Kaina Shannon. So, another explosive content, on a 2 TV, so inside Ghana. Na host no Uswado Frank Kaina Shannon so Franco the hitter and adodo no a efre kai se baso no so empem kopem no nkno mpemu anwumre bia ifiada enti ifiada edi animu no akai na wa Shannon so de amame. Keep watching the 2 TV beyond the limit and also Shannon so na fama opani anope yensa kan no ene di nkomo no Ekasa edema Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign. Miracle, idea nebesesa from 2000 Benina, President Rollins Adaroma, NDC for up north, Yatua Bebia MPP nyabi, but still no omato ama NDC. Still no omato ama NDC. Even 2020 kura na free SHS aba no. Omoni yen de boss ho. Ma ohun se MPP appreciate it. This election wo hwe ni mo say bibi besesa kese pa.
I think say Ghana for enye so hu bebre. I can tell you, ye call round that ye tie ni ade na Ghana for enye so hu bebre. Omo Ghana for ayo madwen say yemma Dr. Mahmoud Bamia sa akonya no.
Okay.
Now for the first time, you try 8 years here. Yemma na akonya na on toaso. Ni yen hwe dia obetumi dia ka ho. Because of some long story na me ma woni nti. Almost sua bebre film say na enei sin free high school ya ye hyehye nyanwie ya yeguso aye tenetene. Obi dia akohye NDC funds mu a. Eni no wedi kan ka so no so kura 2 billion and conference free high school. Wedi kan ka so in fact ono ne mpeni for ka say free high school no it doesn't make sense. Omo adi ka omo kan say ade no kura kwa me nkoma ne Soviet Union ntumi aye no then e che say MPP betumi aye. O say he doesn't see why as I say yema obi etu obi ekɔ school free. Inti with all intent and purpose utumi hu say ade no ba ɔde ne sabeka ne kakra. Ekɔ obe fa so ɔde ne sabeka ne yenim. But si etie do kan de yetumi conclude say why ha ade no obe pipe mu. Because oka say be me na me Chris Kadan ka me mfa nhye mu a. Oka say me hu de ntia say obi etumi kɔ ne free nti ebi mu ntua na emebu mu ntua. Clearly no as a winya ya senior identity no we don't sabe kakra and Ghanaians don't want to go through that. Oba ya kwan 4,000 obi abay 11,000 and then the sign ma on
Ghana for person be come no we dey na ho ye
o see a call round.
Okay.
O see a call round say yen so far even though Dr. Mahmoud Bamia you know barely 6-7 months ago no one nante Ghana has saying your mama no atena opposition 7 years. O ya call round yate and only say before you best start a campaign so no. So Dr. Mahmoud Bamia is stakeholder engagement. Only almost every group in the country share. And I'll be so say answer no be kwakwa constituency campaign you know. Or call round that only a software share on nananu share na eti only nakasa. And we've heard they don't want to make that mistake. I can tell you say we be beat NDC for in this election with the strategy on bedroom hormones here.
First round victory.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because we're not for 5 northern regions. Omo beto ba Dr. Mahmoud Bamia one time. So omo nuanu mienu na. Omo ne omo kwakon omo esi akan. But Dr. Mahmoud Bamia me no ka say wa chechire $100 million project. I for no soko. Akoma 48 districts in the north. And you know Ghana ha ope miaya ohia buburu pa northern Ghana ka ho. I provided intervention in the rural areas in the northern Ghana. Then a John Mahama de come home. When we yendi kwine. The Tamale Airport. Then a John Mahama His Excellency de come home. Kwahwe Damongo, kwahwe Savannah region. Yat region. Savannah for status of Ope region. Kwame Nkrumah mreso. Northeast. Wale ni Gambaga focus on Ope region. Nalerugu focus on per region. And yene.
Tamale Airport, say phase 2, but phase 1 say John Mahama na.
Oh, na say eno dey change bi eno. And then I said terminal 3 yom ken say esi ko to kana John Mahama DHS. Okay. But so the wawa no anambo. Intend dey change bi eno. But then ye na yama na international car plane betumi fly from New York about Tamale Street. Okay. So I just say, inti the evidence is quite clear say omo nua ba omiana na say omo to ba mana enua no mienu no. And we are going to win the northern sector. Okay. Volta region, we need 2 seats. Abeka ho. Oti region, we 3 seats. Abeka ho. Eastern region, we be seats be mienu miensa abeka ho. Inti and sanema we in all humility and humility simply because Ghana fire your mind said Debbie will not fall for deception again. Because between you and this when they transfer, say Baby but don't so na aka ye ntumi ye no kre say inflation ye jet to say inflation say na say ye hwe na ye dun huduma dollar say me na me buy say me no ndi hu echinje ha bomo what is the alternative what is their solution record ben pan no de ba against the in the next elections and that's why Ghanaians will vote against them
enyama hodo aye koso ya strike kakra ya wo why affect him.
Oh, it will affect you. Since in a so no. It's in a bar and penny for said home common. You see, there's one distinctive factor about this government. Yeah, okay. strike he be na John Mahama Mbreso na your workers why you join funu. Nti on show second. Strike. I say in my term I have seen so much strike that strikes don't scare me anymore. In fact, 2016 around this time, Dr. Fokai say on my name head. Into mo aketua ntumu. Okacho mo say onu mu negotiation bi but we are not doing that. Yeah,
and now monitor a parliament house. Me of course Abamba be MP no. What's your take on that?
Yes, you nyansa.
Okay.
It would never happen in the history of this country. Say Ghana for a big mistake. Niaka say, yes, split parliament. And this is for your man boy for. I can tell you, say, about 50% of your economic woes and acquire parliament. Aboagye ni NDC for first sabotage your mind through parliament. Embrace say ye pass sika say ye tumi hihye mra na ye tumi nya ntem no ma twentwen so no ma ko hontokwa egu ho pe omo tumi threaten investors ko efi abroche ba say ade am ba be ye mo ba na mo be ya ye de ba be ma ye ntua.
Omo tro krata ko is it China?
Oh yes, omo tro even World Bank na de omo tro NATO kra omo tro.
And some CCP
any idea. It will never happen again. And that's why I can tell you without any doubt. NDC, a lot of the MPs, they are going to lose their seats. Omo mbu omai and omo ye pese mi nkumunya. Omo de shada de to omutrim say, inya split parliament there. Omai no mbo ebo aye na ebenya so fast so. Me say a lot of our economic woes as a result of our Aboagye na kwan our fast our manage parliament any NDC for. If they had only been a bit omo ye patriotic kakra bia. Ebo omai ne kakra bia. Anka won't be in the situation we are in.
Yeah, Brenna, so when the president hand over 320 housing units, they are the Ghana police service. I don't know if
we cry first time.
Yes,
so you do Okabenya. Oh yeah. Na nema aban we are Yama security services here. Say do na ye na ato helicopters ama police for. Ye na ye to be police for nya drones ah. Bibi cause wa over to be police headquarters na drone na wiem na.
No more monitor.
And if na police for piom ho FFA. Chia cars ne ahodo e dem police hwe no nyama e de abem wo sim kra bonten so traffic light bi abedu ase bia no hu police kra wo be hu police for miensa wo gina ho hwe motorbikes yi omo nam no mkro motorbikes no mutu hwe no mo boy ho ban e yen kakra me ntra ha nka se ya ma na abroso atan ye hwe krampo no anya hwe krampo no ye show work and say si enya kwan to aso a ye betumi aye bia e den aka
Oriameda say Miracle speaks for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer, New Patriotic Party.